lot of people are talking about as maybe being potentially one of the big upsets of the day is Oral Roberts taking on Washington State. What do you think, Coach? Can ORU come up and get a win over the 3 seed?
I certainly think they can. This would be, if I was going to be really reaching for an upset, I think this would be it. Obviously, Oral Roberts has already beaten Kansas. They won their league tournament. And although Washington State is one of the great success stories of the year, they play slow, and I think that gives ORU a chance.
You know, it's interesting, guys, because last year John Calipari called this Oral Roberts team the best 16 seed ever. This is the same group. They've added Marcello Vila, who had 7 threes in that Kansas game. They need guys to make shots because Washington State plays that packed defense that Dick Bennett started and Tony Bennett has continued with.
Doug, there's always a 12 over 5. What do you think of it being Old Dominion over Butler?
Wouldn't shock me. Interesting the committee chose to put 2 mid-majors against each other. Do they want one mid-major to go on, or do they want to just beat the brains out of each other? Of course, Butler was the Cinderella story early in the season, but they faded as of late, 4-4 down the stretch. And Old Dominion won 12 consecutive games before losing the semis of their tournament. They've beaten Georgetown. You know, it's interesting.
Get a new level of freedom with a Braun Enervan from Superior Van and Mobility. Choose from a great selection of Chrysler, GM, and Toyota models with lowered floors and ramps. Get side door and rear door options. These fully equipped vans are easy to drive and in stock now. And wheelchair lifts can be installed in your vehicle. Rental vans are also available. Visit Superior Van and Mobility today or go online to superiorvan.com. In Louisville, call 447-8267.
When I got my new H3, I customized it. I got the marker lamps, the chrome, but I couldn't stop there.
Real meal on a weeknight? What a shocker! Start your next family meal off right with 8 freshly cooked pieces of the Colonel's famous original recipe chicken. Now only $7.99. Bring back dinner at KFC. Get your hands on the 99-cent fish snacker only at KFC. Where else can you find a delicate 100% white Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich for just 99 cents? Just like the original KFC snacker, the fish snacker is still just 99 cents. Your dollar goes further at KFC.
Jockey Tony D'Amico is taken to University Hospital after a tragic fall.
I almost lost more than a race that day, but I survived because of the amazing trauma team at University Hospital. With their healing hands and compassion, they performed a miracle. They rebuilt my entire chest cavity. So 36 screws and 2 steel plates later, I'm here to tell you how very lucky we are to have such an advanced trauma center available to us. It's peace of mind knowing if the worst happens, their healing hands are there to help, and they do it every day.
Watch News Channel 32's Road to the Final Four special tonight.
Hello, NCAA! Oh my goodness, this place is nuts! Yes! 2-hand slam! Here's your moment to shine! Shine! Lay down my breath, close your eyes, breathe in and I'll take you.
This is what the doctor ordered.
Unbelievable!
Welcome to the Final Four, the road to the Final Four, powered by Pontiac, as we embark upon our 26th consecutive year of March Madness here on CBS. Greg Gumbel, joined by Clark Kellogg and Sports Illustrated's Seth Davis. You went to the tournament twice as a player. What do you feel like on game day?
Well, you're antsy, obviously. You want to get out there and play because that's where you handle your business best, is between the lines. It'll be interesting to see how these teams handle their nerves, and also the fact that they're expected to try to survive and advance in this tournament. Generating your own energy is very important, especially in these first games early.
You're handling your nerves pretty well.
Well, it's important as a writer when you cover the tournament. You know, they have a very long day, too. You're eating bad food at the buffet line. But one key to watch throughout the day, throughout the tournament, the three-point line, the teams that best exploit it have the most margin for error.
All right, guys, let's quickly run down the 8 first-round day games about to come your way here on CBS. Davidson and Maryland will tip off the action at 20 past the hour. Texas Tech battles Boston College, and Stanford tangles with Louisville. The second wave of action features 4 games tipping about 2:30 Eastern. Among the teams playing, you'll get to see Georgetown, the second
2nd seed in the East, and Texas A&M, the 3 seed in the South. Then some of you will see George Washington and Vanderbilt at roughly 5 Eastern time. What are the upsets you see on your scope?
Well, I really don't see many upsets. I think all of the higher seed teams will advance, in part because there's so much balance. And I think a lot of times when you're a lower seed, you don't have the energy you need to get out there and get it done. But I think the higher seed teams are going to advance here today, Greg. I think you're going to see competitive games, exciting, entertaining games. But I think ultimately you're going to see the higher seeded teams prevail.
This is the NCAA tournament. Of course, there are going to be upsets. This is why we all watch and pay attention. A couple of mini upsets in the early games. Texas Tech over Boston College. I do like Old Dominion over Butler, but my upset special of the first round is 14th seeded Oral Roberts. I think they will beat 3rd seeded Washington out in Sacramento. How many times in a 14-3 game can you say the 14th seed has the best player on the floor in Caleb Green, more NCAA tournament experience, and remember, Oral Roberts won at Kansas. They are going to march on today, Mr. Gumbel.
All right, guys, let's take a look at what's happening this evening here on CBS. It includes Virginia Commonwealth, Duke, Central Connecticut State against your Buckeyes, Clark, and Michigan State, Marquette, Weber State, UCLA. Also, coming up this evening, Wright State against Pitt, Xavier, BYU, Eastern Kentucky, North Carolina, Gonzaga, Indiana.
I like Gonzaga over Indiana. I like this team because they've had some adversity this year and their backcourt is playing extremely well. Derek Rivio and Jeremy Pargo, playmakers and shot makers. I think that's a game that you can look at. The Stanford-Louisville game, interesting because Stanford loses a lot of time coming from the West Coast to the East Coast. They're playing in Lexington, but I think Stanford finds a way to beat Louisville even though they've got the time zone change working against them, and also Louisville playing in Lexington.
Really a home game for Louisville.
Yeah, I agree that I think Louisville's going to win the game, and I do agree about Gonzaga. You got Stanford?
Yes.
Well, then I'm happy to disagree with you, my friend. Louisville's going to win the game in Lexington because of their ball pressure. That's the problem for Stanford. And the thing about Gonzaga that's funny is that they used to be a Cinderella, then they became a big favorite, and I don't think they wore that crown well. I think Gonzaga is going to win that game.
All right, guys, we will keep tabs and keep score as well. Game time approaches. We'll be back along the road to the Final Four in just a moment.
Julia McGregor loves Kansas basketball. She drives to the games in her Pontiac G6. The upgrade in power gets her there fast. The upgrade in design gets her there in style. And the upgrade in seating capacity gets her there with tonight's rival coach, Bob Knight.
See you after the game, Coach Knight.
The Pontiac Upgrade event, where you can also upgrade how you watch this year's NCAA Men's Final Four. Pontiac is sending 100 fans to the 2007 Men's Final Four in Atlanta. For your chance to win, get to your Pontiac dealer by March 27th.
For the independent investor, TD Ameritrade has proprietary tools like trade triggers. It lets you place trades automatically even when you're away from the computer. And Market Motion Detector, a tool that shows the speed of price and volume movements. Tools for the long-term investor. Tools for the active trader. Tools for independence. TD Ameritrade. Independence is the spirit that drives America's most successful investors.
I've been to Newark, Hackensack, 3 meetings back to back.
Conference in Maine, put faces to names.
Seminar, Lombard, big stack of business cards.
Stayed at Comfort Suites, got a hot breakfast free.
Warehouse, inventory, Foreman had a funny story.
Big meeting, New Rochelle, told my boss, all went well.
This spring, stay at any Comfort Inn, Comfort Suites, Quality Inn, Sleep Inn, or Clarion Hotel. You'll earn triple choice privileges points or triple airline rewards with your second stay. For reservations, visit choicehotels.com. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there.
I have 2 beautiful children, a wife married now 17 years. When you're inside, cooped up in the wintertime, no. As soon as it gets warm, we're out there.
He's playing tag or hide and seek or whatever it is.
Winter's over, I put down Scott's Turf Builder with Holtz. It feeds our lawn. It gets our lawn greener, faster, and it stops the crabgrass. I'm the very first to have a green lawn after the winter. Look at it.
We're out much earlier than other neighbors.
Hey guys, time to come outside. Come on out. That's our Scott's lawn.
There are 380,000 NCAA student athletes. And most of us will go pro in something other than sports. In something other than sports. Go to NCAAstudent.org to find out how.
The first round of play in the 2007 NCAA Tournament about to commence with Davidson meeting Maryland in Buffalo. Those of you expecting to see Texas Tech against Boston College, we'll get you to the start of that game at 12:25 Eastern. Similarly, those slated to see the Stanford-Louisville matchup at 12:30 Eastern, we'll bring you there in time for the tip-off. Enjoy the tournament, everyone, here on CBS.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Lexus, the National Association of Realtors, and by Bud Light.
The safest accident is the one that never happens. The 2008 Lexus RX with 14 actively safe features. Learn more at activelysafe.com.
Hey, look at me. Lock in. Crusher here has an extra deltoid muscle. Means he's got exponentially greater bucking propulsion. Now you lean back and you hang on. I'll be there.
You rodeo clowns are a lifesaver.
Rodeo clown? No, I'm with the birthday party. Hello! Oh, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
With Applebee's new Pick and Pair lunch combos, you take any two you want. Choose from soup, salad, sandwich, and pasta, starting at just $5.99.
You won't respect in this game. You're going to have to earn it.
I know how you white folks get when y'all lose and you about to lose today.
This is our house call!
Pride, rated PG.
Why don't you come and swim with us?
I'll swim naked, and I won't embarrass nobody.
Starts March 23rd.
Trust. It's everything. Nobody hands out trust. Talent is one thing. Combine talent with people you trust, and you will walk on that court with a level of respect no one can match.
The Hartford, a company built on nearly 200 years of trust. Ask your advisor what the Hartford can do to help you plan for your future. Because you're not preparing to retire, you're preparing to live.
For real-time scores and stats of every tournament game, go to Game Tracker, live on CSTV.com, the 24-hour college sports network from CBS Sports.
Smart takes the shot. What's it up? Dreams to come true. As good as it gets.
Welcome everyone to the first round of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament from Buffalo, New York. It's the Davidson Wildcats taking on the Maryland Terrapins. These two teams part of the Midwest Regional, and the winner will play the winner later today of Butler and Old Dominion. 29-4 record for Davidson, going with Jason Richards, Stephen Curry, Max Paulus Goslin, Morris Minnow, along with Thomas Sander. Mike Jones is the starting guard for Maryland, with Gravis Vasquez, DJ Strawberry, Akene Ebekwe, and James Gist. The coach at Davidson is the all-time winningest coach for the Wildcats in Bob McKillop. Today's game is being brought to you in high definition by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media. Our officials this afternoon, David Libby, William Covington, and Michael Cyphers. With Bob Wenzel, this is Kevin Harlan, the beginning of the tournament, and an interesting matchup featuring teams from the Southern Conference and the ACC Terrapins of Maryland.
Well, the ACC against the Southern Conference indeed, Kevin, and Davidson is a high-powered offensive group, 7th in the country in scoring. 5 players from foreign countries on this team. Maryland very hot, 7 of their last 8 in the ACC games.
They got an at-large bid. Ebekwe inside. The tap-in try won't go by Ebekwe. And Out of bounds, and Davidson, the Southern Conference champions, will take it. There's a look at Bob McKillop, 4th NCAA appearance. And for the Maryland Terrapins, Gary Williams, the all-time winningest coach in the history of Maryland basketball.
You know, Bob McKillop, one of the early guys in college basketball, getting foreign players to come to his school. Davidson plays like a European team. They spread you out, love the three, push it up quickly, and they will play some matchup zone.
This was the top scoring team in the Southern Conference at over 82 points a game with the hook shot inside. Minnow can't get it. And the Terrapins the other way in a hurry. DJ Strawberry. His dad, of course, Darryl Strawberry, the famous Major League Baseball player. Nice pass inside, ending up with two quickly at Beckway. Curry missing the three. Strawberry grabs the ball, and a loose one it is, and Davidson corrals it inside. With a little fake and two inside for Boris Minnow from Paris, France.
We do have a genetic game here, Kevin. Strawberry, you mentioned, his dad, the famous baseball player. Del Curry's son, Stephen, the leading scorer for Davidson.
Boy, Beckway went crashing into the defense of Thomas Sander, the junior, and he is down now quickly on an opening drive with about a minute and a half gone. And Sander, who is a junior from Cincinnati and the leader of this defense for the Wildcats of Davidson, in obvious pain.
Sanders steps in on a Beckway right here, gets plenty of time. Beckway almost jumps over his head, and you land on that bone right at the top of your rear end. That is a painful place.
You can never land easily back there, can you? There is no easy landing spot in that area.
Some people have a lot more cushioning back there than others, and Sander not of that variety, of course, being a fine college athlete. He has to come out of the game on a situation like that where he's attended to, Kevin, so that's why he's on the bench.
Andrew Lovedale will check in his place, the sophomore from Nigeria. He's got the ball right here, went to high school in England, and here comes Davidson. 29-4 record, 17-1 in the Southern Conference.
Wow.
There's an offensive foul. It was a screen set up inside, and it goes on Lovedale, who just took the place of the injured Thomas Sanders.
Interestingly enough, both teams trying to press one another, get a feel right here. Pressure can be used to speed up the game or slow it down, depending on what type of pressure you use. I expect that Davidson, they're in man now, but I expect you're going to see a lot of matchup zone from them.
Vasquez tried to shove it inside to a Beckway. Here comes Jason Richards. And a long three-point shot is doused by Richards, the junior from Barrington, Illinois.
That is their game, Kevin. Push it up quick, shoot threes before the defense can get set. They've made 318 on the year. Curry has made 117 of those.
Vasquez from Venezuela in a long-range shot. Will not go in from the wing, and that was hoisted up by Mike Jones out of Massachusetts.
Quickly in the break, the defense backs up. The three-point shot is available, and Richards takes advantage that time. Gary Williams, an advocate of pressure defense. We're seeing a 2-2-1 here, and a little man-to-man as well.
Davidson comes in having won 13 consecutive games and 25 of their last 26 games played. They are one of the hottest teams coming into the tournament, and a three by Curry won't go. One of the top three-point shooters in college basketball. Strawberry to Jones inside. A great two-on-one. Strawberry the assist.
That's the way you finish fast break situations. Two-on-one, make the defense come to you. Jones gets that foul. He's an excellent shooter as well. Gary Williams, of course, won the 2002 National Championship, beat Indiana by 2 points in that great game in Atlanta. And they have been absent from the dance the last 2 years.
Thomas Sander has come back in for Davidson. He took that hard fall in the opening minutes of the game, but he is back in right now. Here is Curry and Sander. Richards. And you move that ball from side to side with the two here by Richards missing the shot. Curry gets it back. And then a long-range shot won't go in right there by Goslin. Look at the hustle by Minnow. And Sander to fall on him. There is a foul. It's inside on the Maryland Terrapins.
This is great fortitude on the part of the Wildcats. Maryland, much more athletic team right here, but Minnow finds a way to get the shot off. Sander, after being on the bench, shows his hustle. Davidson keeping the ball alive on the offensive boards, not what you would expect against a superior athletic team in the Terrapins.
Bickway has just picked up his second personal foul. That is a 3 by Curry. He led all of college basketball freshmen in three-point hits, setting an NCAA record.
Unbelievable. And of course, we all know who Kevin Durant is, the great freshman at Texas. Curry was the second leading scorer, freshman-wise, to Durant in the nation this year.
Says a lot.
Absolutely.
Del Curry was his dad, the great player for the Hokies at Virginia Tech. Strawberry with the miss. Osby picks it up and puts it in inside. Osby is from Richmond, Virginia. He's got his first two. Curry again for three. Boy, looks so much like his dad when he releases that ball. Look at the hustling play inside by Minnow. And now Strawberry. And a 3-on-2. Takes it inside. Retrieves his own miss. Strawberry again. Knock it down. Count it for two and a foul.
Stick-to-itiveness by DJ.
So a timeout with the tie game at 8 here in Buffalo.
Okay, now what? Rock, paper, scissors for it? Okay, that's fair. On 3? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I threw paper.
I threw a rock.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Low 5.
There's strong, and then there's Army Strong. It's more than physical strength. It is emotional strength. Not just strength in numbers, the strength of brothers. Not just the strength to get yourself over, the strength to get over yourself. There's nothing stronger than the U.S. Army, because there is nothing stronger than a U.S. Army soldier. There's strong, and then there's Army Strong. Visit GoArmy.com/strong.
Greg Gumbel in New York will keep tabs on what's happening between Maryland and Davidson, but those of you looking for action in the South region, we're going to take you to Lexington, Kentucky, to Rupp Arena. Stanford Cardinal taking on the Louisville Cardinals. Let's join Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner.
From the heartland of college basketball, Lexington, Kentucky, we are in the South region. Our first game of the day. Stanford against Louisville, a 6 versus an 11. And let's take a look at the region. Louisville and Stanford, our first game. The next game, Texas A&M against Penn. Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner. Let's take a look at the starting lineups as Louisville and Stanford prepare to meet for only the second time. For Stanford on the left, Goods. He's returning off an ankle injury. He's a scorer. Washington, Hill, and the two Lopez brothers. They're twins, and they're 7 feet. Sosa from the Bronx for New York. The Bronx, New York, rather, and he is the Energizer Bunny as a freshman for the Cardinals. Trent Johnson is the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal, 3rd year. He led Nevada to the Sweet 16 for the first time in school history back in 2004. And on the other sideline, Rick Pitino returns to Lexington. He was the coach of the Kentucky Wildcats for 8 years, 3 Final Fours, including the national title in 1996. Today's game is brought to you in high definition by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media. Gus Johnson, along with Dan Bonner, your officials, Maxwell, DeMeo, and Wood. This has the potential, Danny, to be an excellent ball game.
No question about it, Gus. Two programs that are used to winning, kids on each team who are used to winning.
So Louisville controls the tip as Sosa brings it in the front court along with Jenkins. He's their veteran from Detroit.
Man-to-man for Stanford.
What should we pay attention to early on in this game?
Early on, let's look to see particularly if Padgett can get the ball inside and operate against the Lopez twins.
Williams on the baseline. And Lopez with the rebound. That's Brooke Lopez.
Rebounding is going to be a factor. Stanford very good, obviously, particularly with those 2 7-foot guys. Louisville needs to create a faster tempo, force some turnovers.
Stanford comes in this game with an 18-12 record. Brooke Lopez inside, tried to find his brother. Here comes Sosa in transition. Pulls up, has it rejected, loose ball, and it's deposited by Earl Clark. He's a freshman from Plainfield, New Jersey, and that sets up the full court pressure.
2-2-1 pressure by Louisville. Stanford's got to handle this.
Fred Washington gets it over the line. Goods winds up. Ball batted around. Clark with the rebound. Now Sosa, hard to the bucket, New York style. Rebounded and stuck back in by Padgett.
One thing that we're seeing early, the penetration by Louisville is drawing one of the Lopez twins, and nobody's rotating over. 2 second chance opportunities for Louisville.
We wanted to move in 90 days, and that was our goal.
Selling a home can be a challenge. I've been through this type of market before. I'm going to be there every step of the way to guide them through it. Realtors I work with know the markets that they're in.
They know how to market it. They know how to sell it.
A realtor is making it seamless for us.
Interest rates are at historic lows, which means more buyers are in the market for a home like yours. Every market's different. Call a realtor today.
The market is always changing, and I'll always be ready for it.
They pick up their games, pick up their teams, and pick up the pace. Enterprise salutes NCAA student athletes for picking us all up. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Guys, Ari's got floor seats for the Lakers on Saturday. Forget that. We're already hooked up with the most sports in HD with DirecTV. Vince will invite some honeys over. It's all good.
For the most sports in HD, you gotta get DirecTV. You don't get to the top of your game by making dumb decisions. So choose the tire that sets records, wins championships, and controls the competition from start to finish. BF Goodrich Tires. Take control.
When you think of it, children have always been able to put a smile on your face. Why not do something to put a smile on theirs? Please join McDonald's in supporting Ronald McDonald House Charities as we make the lives a little brighter for over 10,000 children and their families every day of the year.
What is victory? Is it when you've won more titles than anyone else? Or is the greatest achievement of all building a foundation for yourself so you can become one for someone else?
Go, fella. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. You got it. Go, go! The right hand bicycle.
American Century Investments.
Louisville leads it by 4, both baskets the same way. Watch here on the penetration. Lopez leaves, nobody blocks out Padgett, he tips it in. Gus, that's the first 2 baskets for Louisville, both the same way.
Here's Goods to the backcourt, bounces it inside, it's knocked away and stolen by Terrence Williams. Stanford coming out shaky. Sosa, along with Williams, Clark, Padgett, and Jenkins. Everything normally runs through Padgett. He's a terrific passer at 6'11". Williams a 3. And the rebound goes to Robin Lopez.
Williams not really a very good three-point shooter, only 26%. In fact, Louisville has gotten better as the season has gone on, with Williams shooting fewer 3.
Robin Lopez jump hook on the baseline and air ball. Boy, Terrence Williams the other way. Louisville coming into this game with a 23-9 record. And Williams crosses over and travels. As Rick Pitino gets up off his chair, the Stanford Cardinal, an 11 seed, lost to USC 83-79 in the quarterfinals of the Pac-10 tournament. They come into this game losers of 4 of their last 5. Lopez inside. Ball batted around. Robin Lopez with the rebound, forcing his way up and banks it in.
You play those 2 7-foot guys, you're expecting to get some offensive rebounds. Robin Lopez very fortunate to not lose the ball. Big guy doesn't need to dribble it in there.
Second set of 7-foot twins to play for Stanford. Jared and Jaron Collins, who are currently pros. They're members of the Stanford Cardinal basketball squad. Now Padgett posting up. Off the dribble, left-hand jump hook, no, but a foul. So the team profile for Stanford, over 13,000 students. This is their 15th NCAA tournament appearance, 5th in the last 6 seasons. Trent Johnson, their head coach. So David Padgett, a junior from Reno, Nevada, at the line, and he hits the first.
Padgett, the type of quick guy on the inside that can really give Robin Lopez some problems. Nice job by Padgett to catch the ball just a dribble or 2 from the basket, then able to use his quickness to get there.
Gets a pair of free throws. Louisville with a 6-2 lead. That sets up the full court pressure. Jenkins with the steal on the inbound. Stanford unable to handle this Louisville pressure. They're going to have to get Mitch Johnson in the game quickly. Down the lane, that one off the mark for Fred Washington. Cardinals running. Williams wheeling, kicking, and a whistle.
We talked about the Louisville pressure and how Stanford had to be able to withstand it. This is just, you got to throw the ball inbounds. They simply did not throw the ball inbounds. Nice job by Jenkins. Rick Pitino knows that Brandon Jenkins, one of his tough guys.
Robin Lopez picks up his second foul. He heads to the bench. So they bring Mitch Johnson in the game. He's a sophomore from Seattle. Terrific point guard. A pass first, handle the ball first point guard. He doesn't want to shoot it. Sosa off the dribble. And Louisville takes a 10-2 lead.
Stanford has no answer at this point for the Louisville penetration.
Or the Louisville press. Washington out of control, and he turns it over. 4 turnovers for the Cardinal, with Robin Lopez on the bench with 2 fouls. Now Sosa, who played at Rice High School. Very impressive freshman. Padgett posting. Backs his way in, shows it, and makes it home.
And that's over a strong 7-footer.
10-0 run for the Louisville Cardinals. Fred Washington. Mitch Johnson. Goods, the teardrop, and he hits it.
Boy, that was a big basket. Louisville in that very aggressive 2-3 zone.
Anthony Goods missed the last 6 games of the regular season with an ankle injury. Came back, had 19 points and 5 assists against USC in their quarterfinal loss, 83-79. Sosa off the heel, and Washington with the rebound. Now Washington, Johnson, Goods, along with Hill and Lopez. Here's Hill, their leading scorer at 16 a clip. Count it.
Basket by Hill.
Lawrence Hill, sophomore from Glendale, Arizona.
If Stanford is going to have success, Gus, they've got to make it a half-court game. Their half-court against Louisville's half-court on both ends.
And try to take advantage of their size. But one of the Lopez twins has 2 fouls. Robin Lopez is on the bench. Williams dumps it down. Clark deep in the corner. Earl Clark, very impressive freshman from Plainfield, New Jersey, averages 6 points per game. And a steal. Clark, bam! The Louisville Cardinals are all business. 17-6. Largest lead of the game. Right now, Stanford is looking for leadership. They give it to Mitch Johnson. Cardinals in a zone.
And it's a very aggressive zone.
Offensive foul called on Anthony Goods. Rick Pitino. He's pressed a couple of times in this building. And right now, it's working.
Does it have 270 horsepower? Fuel-efficient CVT technology. And faster 0 to 60 than Accord, Camry, and Acura TL. Performance once reserved for the few is now available to everyone. Yep, it's that good. The next generation Nissan Altima is here.
Hanes. Perfect, no matter how you wear it.
You know, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but my mobile broadband network is powerful.
Told you that.
Television.
Okay. But your mobile broadband network only works here.
So where does your network work?
Pretty much here.
Can I check my email on your computer?
Sure.
Thanks.
Singular has mobile broadband coverage in more cities worldwide than Sprint. Singular, now the new AT&T. Your world delivered. Get the Laptop Connect card for only $49.99.
Men are all about the latest technology. Presenting Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant with advanced triple protection system. It locks out odor, keeps you dry, makes you smell great all day. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Triple protection technology for men.
So easy to turn, so easy to handle. It almost drives itself. But it's not just about mowing the lawn. It's also about owning a John Deere. Easy Track, the newest John Deere.
They are the sharpshooters, the rainmakers, the Mr. Big Shots. We set them up with strength, power, and free high speed, and assist their fadeaways with a dream team of sumptuous beds and linens as crisp and cool as the other side of the pillow.
Courtyard. Redesigned by business travelers for business travelers.
Boom shakalaka.
In New York, Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, Seth Davis will get you back to Lexington after we check in on what's happening first in Buffalo, where Davidson and Maryland are doing battle. Davidson with a 1-point lead. I think there was a lot of interest in how Maryland would come out in this tournament. They were one of the hot teams coming down the stretch and then lost earlier than people thought they would in the ACC.
Yeah, but this is an experienced team. Davidson is a high-octane offensive team. They make 10 3-point field goals a game. They love playing in the open court because they spread you out and make threes. And right now doing a nice job playing their type of game and splashing in some threes.
I think they're very comfortable. Davidson is playing up and down the court. Maryland getting a little bit sucked into that style and settling for the three. The Terps are much better when they're consistently driving to the rack. Kenny Ebekwe already has 2 personal fouls, but Maryland has to be aggressive in attacking for the rim and not just settling for threes.
All right, meanwhile, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Texas Tech and Boston College. Texas Tech started slowly, caught up, but now BC with the lead.
Both of these teams are really good offensive teams. They run their stuff really well, execute in the half court. It's going to come down to which team can offer some defensive resistance. Texas Tech allows the opponent to shoot 46% from the field. Boston College doesn't have much shot blocking, but they do have guys like Tyrese Rice there who can get to the rim and draw fouls.
Yeah, this game kind of feels to me like it's going to be a slow half-court grinding type of game. BC is settling back in a 2-3 zone, and Jared Dudley has 2 fouls.
All right, guys, we'll keep track of those games. Let's get you back to Lexington, where Louisville has the lead over Stanford. Once again, Gus and Dan.
12:51 to play in the first half. Turnovers a problem for Trent Johnson, Stanford Cardinal. Turning it over 7 times to start this game. Louisville with a 17-8 lead.
And 8 of the Louisville points have come as a direct result of taking the ball away on the press.
Trent Johnson and the Cardinal 18-12, 10-8 in Pac-10 play there, an 11 seed. On the other sideline, Rick Pitino returns to Lexington. where he served as the head man here with the Wildcats for 8 years, 3 Final Fours, and a national title in 1996. Williams, who's been playing some excellent basketball lately, he decided to stop attempting threes and get his teammates involved, and he's been sensational. Padgett, jump hook, no good. Loose ball rebounded by Juan Palacio. Williams, hanging in the air. Now Mitch Johnson in the front court, along with Fred Washington. Finger, Goods, and Lopez.
Louisville back in that man-to-man. They've done a great job pressuring the ball. McGee picks up the foul right there on the hand check.
11:57 to play in the first half. Cardinals with a 17-8 lead over the Cardinals.
Fellas, welcome to our camp. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Just work together with me. Knock it away from him. Use the board.
If you could go to a camp with Coach K,
Bring it in again.
for the same price as one with Coach J,
Taste it! Work it! Nasty!
why wouldn't you?
It's the same with car insurance. If you could get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys, why wouldn't you? Nobody can match our combination of service and low rates. Get a quote today.
Give me the ball.
It's a beautiful day inside. Temperature about 71 degrees with the air conditioning.
Number 1 player in the world making his way to the tee box.
Looks like Tiger's got a turkey avocado sandwich.
I make them all the time, Jim.
Wow! Look at the gallery. You can sense the electricity.
Tiger Woods, PGA Tour 07, rated E for everyone. EA Sports, it's in the game.
For those in the academic, medical, cultural, and research fields beginning to think about their financial future, we're TIAA CREF. We have more than 85 years expertise building retirement plans just for you. Let our experience and personalized objective advice help you meet your retirement goals, starting today. TIAA CREF, financial services for the greater good.
Nissan Maxima with CVT, part of the next generation of Nissan thinking.
It's a special milestone for Ted.
You're about to become a henpecked, beaten-down shell of a man.
He's moving in with Robin.
I can't let you do this.
Where's the truck? Almost.
You will get your stuff back if you are able to complete a series of challenges. Barney, this isn't Barney, but I hear that guy's awesome.
A new How I Met Your Mother, CBS Monday.
Follow every minute of the madness at CBS Sportsline. Get expert analysis, watch exclusive online video, plus live scoring and stats for each game. Get tournament coverage updated around the clock at CBSSportsline.com. And there it is, the 1996 National Championship banner.
1996 National Championship banner, Rick Pitino. He's got a banner hanging here from the rafters in Rupp Arena.
And we asked him yesterday what it's like to come back and coach here, and he said, it's okay now as long as we don't have to play Kentucky.
That's right. He said it wasn't very much fun coming in to play the Wildcats.
Johnson dumping it down, knocked away, gets it back. Stanford has turned it over 7 times. On the season, they average 14 turnovers a game. Now Johnson picks up his dribble, 10 to shoot, inside, and it's stolen away by Palacio.
Louisville glad to have him back. This is his first game action since February the 17th.
Inside, Padgett lays it up and in. Jerry Smith is checked in. Padgett off to a great start with 8 points.
Everything very easy for Louisville. They're using their defense to create transition offense.
And a foul in the backcourt. Jerry Smith, the freshman from Wisconsin. There's Palacios, and he's been trouble with a bad back.
Hurt his back against Marquette on February the 17th. In fact, he didn't even practice. It was a strained back muscle. Didn't even practice until Sunday. And so they're very glad to have him back. Padgett goes out of the game. Character comes in, but Palacios, 6'8", 250, averages about 10 points a game. Nice to have him back in the lineup if you're the Cardinals of Louisville. Here's that zone again, and it's not a passive zone. They're really getting out and pressuring the ball.
Lopez, off the mark, tracked down on the sideline, and he almost threw it away. Washington. Hill chases his own rebound down the lane, halfway down, and it pops down. Lawrence Hill with 4 points now.
Just to have the idea in this game, Gus, so far that Louisville has Stanford playing one step faster than they want to play. Man-to-man for Stanford.
Smith. Palacios kicks it out. McGee. And Palacios can't get it to fall. Character with the rebound, and he's fouled. So Derek Character, a freshman from Fanwood, New Jersey, will go to the free throw line for Coach Pitino.
Stanford playing guys, basically a big lineup, even with only one of the Lopez twins in the game. Louisville's quickness advantage really telling here. Cardinals doing a great job getting the ball to the basket with penetration.
Character missed 16 games this season due to off-court issues, but he's averaging 10 points in 8 games since his return. A terrific talent as he gets both free throws to go.
Gus, and you put Character and Padgett together and combine their stats. Louisville doing a great job getting a lot of production out of the center position.
Landry Fields, a freshman, comes in the game, and he had a good Pac-10 tournament. 15 points against USC, and a foul in the backcourt as Hill brings it over the line. So let's take a look at the Louisville Cardinals out of the Big East Conference. Over 21,000 students, and their campus is 78 miles from Rupp Arena. 33rd all-time NCAA appearance. Wes Unseld, Johnny Unitas, notable alumni. Hill on the baseline, fires, off the mark, rebounded, finger, goes up strong and travels.
And Earl Clark, we've talked about him. He has 3 baskets in this game. That's coming off a 17-point performance against Pitt in the Big East tournament. This young man started slowly this year, but has really started to come on the last third of the season, and he has been a big factor in this first half.
At 17 versus West Virginia. Has a nice mid-range jump shot and is very handy around the basket, as we've seen. So McGee will bring it up. Palacios, Character, Williams, and Smith. Keep your eye on Smith. He can really shoot it. And he will go to the line.
Again, Louisville just in attack mode, using their quickness and dominating Stanford thus far.
So Jerry Smith, the former Wisconsin State Player of the Year. And he has what you call in the gym range. 46% shooter from the three-point line. 52 of 111 coming into this game.
Made one of the big shots of the year for Louisville. Three-pointer that won the game at Marquette.
So now Goods checks back in. Finger heads to the bench. Largest lead of the game now for the Louisville Cardinals. Mitch Johnson trying to handle the pressure and make good decisions. Dangerous cross-court pass.
Still plenty of time for Stanford to get this game back the way they want it, but they have got to start making a move soon.
Loose ball, rebounded by Character. Louisville playing at such a high level of intensity. They are attacking Stanford every chance they get. Character posted.
Playing also with a high level of confidence. When your game plan goes the way you want it to, you start believing in yourself.
Character, pounding it. Loose, gets it back, banks it in.
Louisville just out fighting Stanford. Every loose ball, it seems, goes Louisville's way.
Now Hill. And you talk about confidence. Stanford right now not playing with any confidence.
Because you can see it in their eyes. There are just little questions about what they need to be doing.
They're overwhelmed. Fields, stripped. Character takes it from him. Here comes McGee. He's got Palacios roaming the baseline, and a foul on the floor.
There's that penetration again, just the quickness. Stanford can't handle it right at the moment. Character with the shot. And again, there's a loose ball. It's in the hands of Lopez, goes right off his hands, right to Character, who converts.
Hill called for the foul is first. Williams heads out of the game. Jenkins back in.
And if you're Stanford right at the moment, you're in danger of digging yourself a hole so big you'll never be able to get out.
Inside Character.
See how slowly the defense reacted? That Character actually lost the ball right in the middle of the lane and had time to go pick it up.
Character wants it again on Lopez. Takes him off the dribble inside, and he's fouled. Timeout on the floor. The Louisville Cardinals look sensational. They lead Stanford 25-10.
So we had this sudden panic. We've got investments all over. You name it, we've invested in it. What does it all add up to? I mean, realizing after, 25 years that you don't even know what your investment picture actually looks like. That's a midlife crisis.
All right, your shipments. Well, this one needs to be in LA by 8:30 a.m. This one's going to China, and Frank needs these in Akron next week. Now, wouldn't it be great if one driver could come and pick all this up at once? Well, that guy would work for UPS, because only UPS does that. It's not your shipments, it's your shipments with UPS. Let's get us some shorts. It's going to be hot today.
The HP Blade System C-Class with ThermoLogic, Virtual Connect, and Insight Control. Powered by quad-core Intel Xeon processors or dual-core Intel Itanium 2 processors. Now you can contain the chaos and set IT free to drive your business.
Gentlemen, the final four suite.
If you could stay at a hotel like this for the same price
Who's got the towel?
as this, why wouldn't you?
It's the same with car insurance. If you could get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys, why wouldn't you? Nobody can match our combination of service and low rates. Get a quote today.
How do I look? Radiant.
There are some crazy blades out there, so reach for the ultimate balm. Replenishing aftershave balm with Care Protect soothes and repairs the damage from shaving. Only from Nivea for Men.
And a look at the game summary.
And as you look at the game summary, Gus, a couple things very clear. The 10 turnovers that Louisville has forced from Stanford, obviously making some easy opportunities from Louisville, but the free throws, 6 of 6. That means Louisville is attacking. Stanford yet to get to the free throw line.
Louisville, 12 points off 10 Stanford turnovers. That's the game so far. Cardinal coming into this ball game not playing with confidence. You can see it in their eyes. They have been overwhelmed by the intensity of this Louisville basketball team, especially this press.
They've got to figure out a way to match that intensity and to get into an attacking frame of mind themselves. This Louisville zone defense has had them back on their heels.
Inside, off the mark, tapped up by Lopez and in. And that's Brook Lopez. Makes it a 27-12 game.
That's where they have an advantage. Get the ball up on the board and go get it.
McGee in for Sosa. Jerry Smith runs a pick and roll, lets it fly from deep. He can really shoot it, folks.
He does not need much room.
5 points now for Jerry Smith off the bench. He averages 8. Goods with Washington. And Washington stripped again. Loose ball. Smith picks it up. Finds Clark. Here comes the pain.
Another example of Louisville just out hustling Stanford to the ball. Clark takes it to the basket. Peter Prout is going to get called for the intentional foul here. Washington trying to attack, but there's one guy going into the middle of 3. That's usually not going to work. Smith picks it up. Clark gets the basket. Watch Prout come in here at the last minute. Just shoves him. No attempt to play the ball. So the disaster gets worse for Stanford. Clark will get 2 shots, and then the Louisville Cardinals will get the ball.
Clark with 9 points to start this game. Great pass by Smith from his backside as Clark hits the second. And now a sub comes in. Taj Finger.
You've got to make an attempt to play the ball here. Clark comes in and just pushes him.
Now Clark in the corner. Sosa checks back in. Smith steps out. So Sosa and Smith in the backcourt with Jenkins, Character, and Clark. Here's Character, the big fella. Wants it. Got his man in the air, and a foul on the floor. And that goes against Lopez. His second.
Character can be very, very good inside. He's got speed, he's got quickness as well as strength. That time just used some fakes.
So
got to stay down.
So the Twins both have 2 fouls. Brook with 2 and his brother Robin on the bench with 2. Character.
And Character's having one of those games that he has sometimes for Louisville where he comes in and just really produces. We talked before about Character and Padgett together. The numbers there don't lie. That's a very effective center when you combine those 2 fellas.
And I'm looking at my stats, and I'm wondering if I wrote down the wrong free throw percentage for him. I have 43%, and he looks sensational from the free throw line. He's 6 of 6. Talk about a team coming in and being ready to play. Lopez jump hook. Washington, weak side rebound, and he's fouled. And don't forget, all you armchair athletes out there, listen up. A new study shows that exercise may drastically reduce your chances of getting a killer disease. Details tonight on the CBS Evening News with Katie Curry. So Washington at the free throw line. And now Padgett comes back in. And Character goes to the bench, and he gets a big hand and a pat on the back from his head coach. Second free throw for Washington is good.
Now one of character's problems has been, Gus, he'll come in games and he'll have a spurt like that. Then the next time he'll come in, he won't really do anything. He's got to be a little bit more consistent. But boy, he was good today.
Sosa. He got it. (38-13).
This has been a nightmarish first half for Stanford.
And it's not over. Hoods rejected. Jenkins picks it up. The senior from Detroit in transition. The kick. Smith, rise and fire. Count it. Uh-oh. Watch out, folks. Louisville is ready to play. Rick Pitino returns to Lexington. And they are all business, and it starts with defense. Jerry Smith, ring it up, 41-13 Cardinals.
Hot soup, $4. Cold medicine, $11. Blanket, $24. Making it all better. Priceless. With PayPass on your MasterCard, just tap and go.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, and Seth Davis will look in at all the other games and have tournament news as well. 41-13. Louisville on a 22-3 run in the last 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And a hand-checking foul called on Jerry Smith. So let's take a closer look at this Louisville Cardinal squad under Rick Pitino. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. During that time, they're shooting 47% from the field. They are winning 11 of their last 14. And Dan, this is a team that started the year 6-4 with losses to Dayton, Arizona, UMass, and Kentucky at home.
Gus, there's a couple of factors involved. Number one, they finally got healthy. They had a lot of guys with some injuries in the season, missed a lot of practice time. And the second thing is they got a lot of young guys who just simply matured.
Pull-up jump shot, and that goes down for Kenny Brown, a sophomore, walk-on from South Lake, Texas. Trent Johnson now looking for anything to get his team going.
And now Stanford drops back into the 2-3 zone.
Inside, Clark rims off. Hill with the rebound.
That's what they have to do, Stanford. They've got to make Louisville jump shooters. The Cardinals having too much success driving the ball to the basket.
Lopez knocked away from behind, gets it back, forces it up. Can't get the bounce, and a whistle and foul inside. So we are currently at the bottom half of the South region. The winner of this game takes on the winner of our next game. Texas A&M and Penn, the Ivy League versus the Big 12. And the other half of the bracket, Nevada, Creighton, Memphis, North Texas.
For Louisville, Patrick at the line for 2.
Third foul called on Brooke Lopez. Will send David Padgett to the line. David Padgett, a transfer into Louisville. He transferred from Kansas, wanted to play for Roy Williams, and when Coach Williams with the North Carolina, he decided to seek out Rick Pitino as Lopez hits the bench.
And Will Paul comes in the game for Lopez. Will Paul, guy's only played in 16 of the 30 games this year.
Paul keeping it alive, but can't haul in the rebound.
Stanford now back to the man-to-man.
And a whistle away from the ball. This goes against Louisville. 3 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the first half. Timeout on the floor. 41-16 Louisville.
These guys just stole your phone.
Yeah, joke's on them. We're in Italy. My phone doesn't even work here.
What about when you get back home?
Doesn't work that well there either.
Thank you.
All right. See, the joke's on them.
Cingular has more coverage in more cities worldwide than Sprint. Cingular, now the new AT&T. Your world delivered. Get the broadband razor for only $49.99.
Got a problem with me and my swim team, man?
You mean you guys aren't the Harlem Globetrotters?
You want respect in this game, you're gonna have to earn it.
I know how you white folks get when y'all lose and you about to lose fast.
Academy Award nominee Terrence Howard, Bernie Mac.
This is our house, coach!
On your mark!
Pride, rated PG.
Why don't you come and swim with us?
I'll swim naked and I won't embarrass nobody.
Starts March 23rd.
Gentlemen, the final four suite.
If you could stay at a hotel like this for the same price
Who's got the towel?
as this, why wouldn't you?
It's the same with car insurance. If you could get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys, why wouldn't you? Nobody can match our combination of service and low rates. Get a quote today.
How do I look?
Radiant.
I slayed the dragon and come for my reward!
Well done! This is for you.
This is all I get?
Terms and conditions state that you must slay a minimum 4 dragons before cash is earned. Tail must also be provided to prove that it is a dragon, not just a large lizard.
Is this how your cash rewards card treats you? Introducing No Hassle Cash Rewards. Earn cash on every purchase everywhere, plus a 25% annual bonus.
Oh, you've qualified to marry my daughter.
What's in your wallet?
It's all in the thumbs. Get an NCAA March Madness video game only at mycokerewards.com/NCAA. Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner. 3:58 to play in the first half. Louisville with a 41-16 lead over Stanford. Cardinals are 13 of 24 from the field, 54%. Stanford 7 of 19 as you take a look at the tournament summary.
Maryland, national champions in 2002, but their first tournament appearance in a couple of years. And Virginia Commonwealth, they've got a very interesting game against Duke coming up, and the University of Pittsburgh, once again, a high seed in the tournament.
Pittsburgh, a very good basketball team. Just ask Louisville. They lost to the Panthers 65-59 in the semifinals of the Big East tournament. They were up by 11, Louisville at halftime.
And that's something to keep in mind here as Louisville out to the very big lead.
And the travel on the sideline. Right now, the Stanford team just displaying no toughness.
And I think that's a very good point, Gus. You talked about Pitt coming back against Louisville in the Big East tournament. Well, Pitt's got a bunch of tough guys, and Stanford really has backed off in this game. Louisville has them back on their heels, and they've never recovered. Now back in the zone.
Clark a three. Rebounded by Padgett. Sosa straight away. Count it.
This is a Louisville machine that is just hitting on all cylinders at the moment.
44-16. Al Goods. Hill a 15-foot pull-up. Rebounded finger, power dribble inside. And he draws the foul. 2:54 to play in the first half. The Louisville pressure defense, especially the full court press, has been the story in this game.
We talked before the game. We talked yesterday with both Rick Pitino and Trent Johnson. And Trent Johnson in particular was concerned about the Louisville pressure. And Rick Pitino's squad certainly showing why Stanford should have been concerned. Rick Pitino's guys just came out here going at full bore from the time the game started, have forced turnovers, have penetrated hard to the basket, have attacked on both ends of the court, and Stanford simply has not been up to the task.
The Louisville defense has forced Stanford into 12 turnovers, and the Cardinals have given up 22 points off those 12 turnovers. 44-17.
Louisville, with their pressure and quickness, has just not allowed the Stanford size to have any impact at all on this game.
Will Scott checks in. He's a sophomore from New York City. And a whistle and foul.
The Louisville defense today has been outstanding. You mentioned forcing the turnovers, but just nothing Stanford can do against the defense. They've shown good quick hands. They've stolen the ball. They've blocked shots. They've stolen it in the half court. They've stolen it in the full court press.
Stanford averaging 15 turnovers a game with 12 in the first half. As Jenkins hits the first free throw. Clark heads out of the game. Palacios replaces him. Earl Clark, the freshman, 10 points in the first half. And he averages 6 a game. Second one, Jenkins goes down. And that sets up the pressure. Brown. And a foul on the baseline. And that's where they want you to go. Am I right? They want you to go up the sideline.
They want you to go up the sideline, and guess what they would prefer you do? I'm talking about Louisville now. Rick Pitino's defense is designed to have the guy dribble the ball all the way up. The way you beat that pressure is you've got to pass the ball. You've got to particularly pass it into the middle. You've got to attack there, and you have to make the other team pay for pressing. And Stanford hasn't been able to do that. No easy buckets for Stanford out of the Louisville pressure. Catches the ball with his back. 94 feet away, has his back to the basket. Now look at this. Brown has to dribble the ball up the court against tough pressure all the way. That's exactly what Louisville wants you to do. Even if they don't steal the ball from you, you have to work so hard to get it up, you're probably not going to get a good shot.
So what's the goal for Stanford down 46-19 with 2:20 to play in the first half? To get it to what?
The goal for Stanford is just to get a little bit of momentum going. I don't think at this point in the game, Gus, you're concerned at all about what the deficit is. You just have to get something positive going here at the end of the half.
Sosa kicks it out. Jenkins lets it fly. Padgett snatched it out the air. Sosa in the corner. And Hill goes up strong.
Okay, you got to stop. Now you got to go down and score. You get a couple stops and a couple scores, you're feeling a little bit better about yourself going in at halftime.
Let's see if they look to get it inside to Robin Lopez. Here he is. Backs his way in. Shows it. Dips. And he can't get it to fall.
What a block out by Palacios.
Sosa backs it up. High screen. Jenkins dumps it down. Padgett, great catch. Palacios a three.
Guess they didn't score, but what a wonderful job of sharing the basketball. They got a great look at the basket.
Crossover, Goods to the bucket. Lopez with the rebound. Batted out, picked up by Hill. And the Cardinals get a new shot clock. Goods trying to shake up Sosa. Deals it down. Lopez, and he's fouled. So Robin Lopez will go to the line. He's a 56% free throw shooter. And shoot two. As Palacios picks up the foul, that's his first. And that's another thing about this Louisville team. They're able to play defense at this high level of intensity and not foul. As you take a look at Robin Lopez's shoes, both he and his brother are artists. Brooke is a writer, Robin more of a painter and a drawer, and he decorated his tennis shoes, or his sneakers rather, as he misses both free throws.
Actually, he wears a different sneaker than the other guys. The other guys have that white with the red on it, but he's got the white with the black on it simply so he can draw and it looks better.
He needed a darker canvas.
That's right. He needed a darker canvas. He also needs some more baskets today.
Missed both free throws. Will Scott and Sosa in the backcourt, along with Padgett, Jenkins, and Palacios. Scott tracks it down. 10 to shoot. Now Jenkins stopping, starting. Palacios. Sosa, the freshman, for three. And Brown hauls down the rebound and is fouled. So Palacios called for the foul, his second. Rick Pitino told us yesterday he still has fun, still loves his job. He's not as nervous as he used to be in the past. But being in the NCAA tournament is important to him because, as he told us, you don't know how many you have left in you.
Well, of course he's having fun today. Look at that lead. Boy, his guys were ready. They were ready. Just ready. They played aggressively in the first half. They played loosely.
Second free throw for Brown. 1 of 2. Stanford not shooting the ball well from the free throw line today. 5 of 10. Timeout call by the Louisville Cardinals. 46-20. Back after this.
There's something to be said about Papa John's new 6-topping sausage sensation pizza. That something is this new taste sensation is loaded with spicy Italian, new smoked, and sweet sausages, plus fresh cut onions and red and green peppers. Now, for a limited time, get a large 6-topping sausage sensation pizza for just $11.99. $11.99. Taste the difference. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Things that make you go,
Stuck in the office and can't get to a TV? Then sign up for NCAA March Madness On Demand and watch the men's tournament online for free. For more, go to ncaasports.com/MMOD. Final 7 seconds. Here's Sosa over the half-court line. Bounces it inside. Patrick can't hold on, and that's the end of the first half. The story, turnovers. Louisville's defense forces 12 Stanford turnovers, and they pick up 22 points off the turnovers. Earl Clark led them with 10 points in the first half. Louisville leading it big. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel with AT&T at the half after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching CBS Sports, home of the men's NCAA Basketball Championship.
You're no rich prince.
Sorry. Rich Prince rewards begin at 2 kisses. To qualify, eligible. Additionally, the magic spell reserves the right to lock out the primary kiss giver from any and all. Kisses expire 6 seconds from date of pucker. All kisses are non-transferable.
Is this how your cash rewards card treats you? Introducing No Hassle Cash Rewards. Earn cash on every purchase everywhere, plus a 25% annual bonus.
Yeah, okay.
But you're just 1 kiss away. What's in your wallet?
My life is over. You've still got plenty to look forward to. Memory loss, impotence, adult diapers.
New 2.5 Men. Then it's spring cleaning time.
My shirts represent a special memory in my life.
Special memory at a Yabba Grabba Brew party?
A new rules of engagement after New 2.5 Men, CBS Monday.
Cold Case, CBS Sundays.
If your chest aches, if you're short of breath, if your stomach's upset, if your left arm is numb, your heart may be trying to tell you something. Find out what it is. Right now. Right here. Baptist Hospital East. Feel better.
Growing up on a small farm, you didn't get up and stand around on a farm. You got up and worked. And my dad was taught that by his dad, and I taught my 3 daughters to do the same thing. I think Kentuckians have had to endure a lot of hardships over the years. They're tremendously resilient. They know how to pick themselves up off their backside, and so do I.
Bruce Lunsford worked his way through college, 5 years in the Army Reserves, built successful businesses, and created good Kentucky jobs.
Our company started as a small business. We went from 3 employees to 62,000.
Now Bruce Lunsford is running for governor with Attorney General Greg Stumbo with a blueprint for change to get Kentucky back in business. A plan that includes universal health care for all Kentuckians.
There's just no moral reason why we can't provide universal health care for all of Kentuckians.
Lunsford, Stumbo, Democrats for Change.
We have a blueprint for change. We will solve that problem. We won't just talk about the problem. We will get the job done.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half.
singular, is now the new AT&T.
Back in our studios in New York for AT&T at the half, Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis at halftime. Louisville leading Stanford 46-20 for Trent Johnson. This has to be a coach's worst nightmare, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, they average about 14.5 turnovers a game. They already have 12 at halftime. Louisville just overwhelming them athletically. And as much as we talk about Louis' perimeter guys, we're talking about David Padgett. Yeah. He's finally healthy. He gives them a score and a rebound in the paint.
He's been dominant inside, but the pressure, that's been the difference. They've turned Stanford over, and they've turned those turnovers into points.
All right. Meanwhile, let's get you to some action that is resuming in the second half in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Texas Tech and Boston College. We join Dick Enberg and Jay Billis.
Texas Tech, Boston College just starting this second half. Tech in red, trailing by 2 at the intermission. Inside to Dora. Good feed to Zeno. Acrobatic inside. Right again.
And what a great basket cut by Martin Zeno. He was very successful cutting to the basket in the first half, and when the ball went into the post, he immediately cut to the basket and found an opening.
Remember Jared Dudley, the superstar offensive player for Boston College, playing with 3 fouls. He's in the game. Inside to Marshall, and he trickles it home, 43-41 BC.
Marshall just overpowering Alan Voskuhl down on that low block.
Next up will be the Hoyas and the Bruins, Georgetown and Belmont, the winner to play of this game, that match, second of our quadruple header from Winston-Salem.
Martin Zeno doing a really nice job when he gets the ball of attacking immediately. Great pass.
Roach's first foul. Dora falls away and hits, and we're tied again.
What a terrific pass. The defense turned its back on the ball, and that was just whistled past the ear of the defender right to Daryl Dora.
Rice to Roach. Oates, Marshall, and Dudley for Boston College. Inside to Marshall. And the tip in by Dudley over the Texas Tech defender.
Again, Voskuhl with his size getting exploited inside, and Dudley, such a good offensive rebounder. He's come as far in his 4 years as any other player in America.
Voskuhl follows the miss by Jackson. He has his first points. Now in this second half, we've already been tied at 41, 43, and 45.
Well, both teams doing a pretty good job offensively, but this will not be on the defensive clinic tape of either team.
Move inside, and Oates unable to connect.
4-on-1.
Ooh, the pass was offline. Oh, that was a golden opportunity for Tech, and they blew it. Back the other way, no whistle, and Dudley gets 2 quick scores, and Bob Knight thinking about what he might say next.
Well, that was a 4-point swing, because a 4-on-1 break, you expect to get to the rim, and not a good decision to lob that ball up to Dora. You want to be a little more careful with the ball when you have an advantage situation.
Voskuhl for 3. And here comes Rice and Boston College. Rice with 13 points that first half to lead all scorers. And, oh, he gets in the lane, finds a way to get the ball in the goal.
Well, that was just poor defense on the part of Jarius Jackson. You've got to make a stand out near the 3-point line and stop the ball. You can't give up a layup like that.
Dora set up by Jackson, doesn't go to the iron. Burgess deflected out of bounds by Dudley. Texas Tech ball.
Rice just coming down in transition. You can see Jarius Jackson just gives up the middle of the floor. You want to have that right foot up and try to force him outside so he can't break down your entire defense and get to the rim.
Marshall doing a good job defensively on Jackson. Zeno with a floater, gives it up to Voskuhl.
Good shot fake. How easy is that?
That's too easy.
Talk about Matador defense. Wave the red cape.
Voskuhl with 4 here in the second half. Dudley, Zeno on him. Oates draws Dora. Voskuhl with a steal for Texas Tech.
Much better decision on this break. That's a good shot in transition when nobody picks you up.
And Alan Voskuhl, 7 points all here early in the second half, and Tech reclaims the lead.
Now, usually in a situation like that, a coach like Al Skinner might call a timeout, but Skinner doesn't like to call timeouts.
Another easy entry to Dudley, who lays it home, and Dudley with 6 points in the second half, 12 in the game.
It's just that flex offense, and Dudley does such a great job of using his body to gain an angle inside.
Darius Jackson. Dudley with 3 fouls playing him.
Jackson may want, if he gets the ball back, to drive Dudley because of the 3 fouls. Zeno does drive, and another easy opening, and Zeno twists in a 2-pointer. He has 14. He's a lefty, and he's gone to that left hand. First on the basket cut down the lane, and then on the drive down the lane. Very similar looking shots. There's the flex cut by Oates, and the snap back post by Marshall.
Patient trip here for the Eagles, down to 10 on the shot clock. 5, Roach with it. They better hurry. Dudley will take it with 2. It's short, and Dora collects.
Boston College just not quite as sharp running their offense. Tech doing a good job defending it, but another layup opportunity.
Burgess is blocked as Oates picked it off. 5 blocks, and it's watch out as Dora takes down Jared Dudley. They don't call it an intentional foul. Dora hammering Dudley on the drive. He has his 3rd foul. Alan Vasco giving Texas Tech some scoring strength here early in the second half.
I really like the supersonic breakfast burrito. Eggs, sausage, cheese, tomatoes.
I feel a little bit bad about eating it, though. It makes Charlie go away.
Who's Charlie?
A grumbling stomach. Yeah. He's a good dude.
Well, why don't you just wait till you're hungry again, then you can talk to him then.
I'm not gonna be hungry for a long time.
Sorry, Charlie.
Supersonic Breakfast Burrito. Only at Sonic. It's everything good about breakfast, wrapped up to go. Try one today with a refreshing cranberry juice because Sonic is your ultimate drink stop.
Even on a dark, rainy night, our LiftMaster garage door opener with EverCharge battery backup lets you enter your garage even when your power is out and brings you home safe and sound. Get a $25 rebate on any installed Estate Series opener bought now through April 8th.
They pick up touchdowns, pick up the pucks, and pick up their teams. Enterprise salutes NCAA student athletes for picking us all up. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
The pursuit of healthy, natural shine. The lengths we've gone to. The things we've tried. When all along, the secret to natural shine is a healthy scalp. Go straight to the source with new Head & Shoulders Restoring Shine. Its formula with plant extract starts at the scalp to relieve itch and restore your natural shine. It's shiny and 100% flake-free. Surprise yourself with one of the 10 formulations of Head & Shoulders. True natural shine starts at the scalp.
Since 1989, Coca-Cola has provided more than $35 million in college scholarships. And as the NCAA's first corporate champion, Coca-Cola proudly supports 88 NCAA championships in 23 sports for 360,000 student athletes every year. Satisfying a thirst for learning, both in the classroom and on the field. The Coca-Cola Company and the NCAA.
It's time for our Naismith Watch, presented by AT&T. Big East regular season and tournament MVP Jeff Green averaged just over 14 points and 6 rebounds a game as he led Georgetown to its first conference tournament title since 1989. Text the word VOTE to 87654 on your AT&T or Singular wireless phone to register. Voting for the 2007 Naismith Trophy winner will begin when the 4 finalists are announced on March 18th. Greg Gumbel in New York, tight game in Winston-Salem, Texas Tech by 1. Another tight game in Buffalo, where Davidson leads the Maryland Terrapins by 4. Let's take you there live. Kevin Harlan and Bob Wenzel.
Sander tries to power his way inside, something that Davidson has used with effectiveness, but not often. It's been their outside shooting game as our new audience joins us against the inside scoring of Maryland.
And the reason that they are so effective inside, when they get it, you have to defend the perimeter.
So people who get the ball inside like Sander, really they're one-on-one in there, and if you got some moves, you can get either to the foul line or make a bucket.
So Davidson, the number 13 seed in this Midwest Regional, 29-4, 17-1 in the Southern Conference, as Osby will come in for Bickway, who just picked up his third personal foul against the fourth-seeded Terrapins of Maryland, 18th in the AP poll, number 4 seed, 24-8 their overall record, third place in the ACC at 10-6. We've had 11 lead changes and 6 ties. Jones on the fly. He leads the Terrapins with 10. And with the game-high 23 is Stephen Curry, the sensational freshman for Davidson. He is out of Charlotte.
Neither of these teams spend a lot of time with the shot clock. They get off shots quickly, early in their offense.
But it comes in the rhythm of their offense. Nothing is really pushed.
No,
and if they need to be patient, they can. That time a quick shot, though, is hoisted by Strawberry. Curry, what a pass inside. Counted for 2 on a spectacular play by the freshman Stephen Curry. 9-0 Davidson run to start the second half. Maryland wants a time, and Davidson has tied their biggest lead this afternoon.
Well, Curry's a great three-point shooter, but he can dish it as well, Kevin. What a dominant freshman.
So the Davidson Wildcats lighting things up, leading Maryland by a score of 52-44. Lots of time to play in the second half. Thanks for joining us on AT&T at the half. Back to Lexington for the second half in just a moment.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. Singular is now the new AT&T.
There's something to be said about Papa John's new 6-topping sausage sensation pizza. That something is this new taste sensation is loaded with spicy Italian, new smoked, and sweet sausages, plus fresh cut onions and red and green peppers. Now, for a limited time, get a large 6-topping sausage sensation pizza for just $11.99. $11.99. Taste the difference. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Things that make you go,
At the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, we test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
Special Agent, they're trying to stop you from saving time and money on auto insurance. Here's the play.
Quote by print. Got it, Coach.
When there's only seconds on the clock, Esurance gives you a fast break.
From all the hassle of buying auto insurance, you don't have to jump through hoops.
At Esurance, instant comparison quotes let you screen prices yourself.
So you can net yourself some savings.
It's a slam dunk. Save time and money on auto insurance. Visit Esurance.com today.
Hoop fans, don't miss your chance to go to the 2008 Men's Final Four at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, April 5th and 7th. Log on to NCAAsports.com to apply for your tickets online. That's NCAAsports.com. And don't forget the 2008 Women's Final Four, April 6th and 8th at the St. Pete Times Forum in Tampa. Log on to NCAAsports.com to apply for tickets online. That's NCAAsports.com, the official website of the NCAA.
Preventing colon cancer. It is possible, and we'll show you the game plan when our series Conquering Colon Cancer continues tonight on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric and continuing on The Early Show.
Score! Catch a new Survivor, CBS Wednesday.
Louisville with a 46-20 lead at halftime. Here is the in-game box score powered by CSTV, the 24-hour college sports channel from CBS Sports.
Great balance for Louisville up and down the lineup. They've had guys attacking the basket. They've done a great job from the free throw line in Stanford. You can see there, not much offensive production. They only have 7 field goals in the first half.
So there's been some great balance for Louisville. in the first half.
Well, they've done it with some defense. Clark there with the steal and the basket. The layup by Padgett, the drive by Sosa. These guys, they're hitting on all cylinders.
Did you have a color in mind?
Red. It's got a real nice feel and great for cutting through metal.
Okay. Lately, a lot of NCAA basketball fans are shopping at Lowe's.
I need a blender. How is that one?
Because right now, when you make a purchase at Lowe's, you automatically get a chance to instantly win a trip to the 2008 NCAA Men's Final Four and be on the floor as the winners cut down the net. Or you could win one of millions of Lowe's prize cards. Get in the game today at Lowe's. Let's build something together.
It's the mother of all episodes. A new How I Met Your Mother, CBS Monday.
Kentucky has cancer, significantly more than the rest of the country, and Norton Cancer Institute is leading the charge, focusing unprecedented efforts on prevention and early detection, because prevention is the key to Kentucky's survival.
Daddy, what happens if our house burns up in a fire?
We'll build a new one.
What happens if our house gets blown away in the tornado?
We'll build a new one.
What happens if our house gets smashed by an asteroid?
We'll build a new one then too.
Daddy, what happens if the asteroid hits you?
So Margaret, how do you like our new office?
It's cozy, Howard, but it's worth it. So we could put as much prize money as possible into all of our games.
Howard, can I speak to you in your office? Sure, Chip. So what is it?
We're packing more money, more chances, and more winners than ever into all our games.
Kentucky has cancer, significantly more than the rest of the country, and Norton Cancer Institute is leading the charge, focusing unprecedented efforts on prevention and early detection, because prevention is the key to Kentucky's survival.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Scott's, Lowe's, Charles Schwab, and by Chevrolet.
Welcome back, 46-20 the score at halftime. Louisville with a commanding lead. Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner. We're in the South region. Louisville, a number 6 seed, and Stanford, a number 11, as we take a look at the halftime stats.
And the halftime numbers obviously very much in favor of Louisville. Stanford only 7 field goals, 12 turnovers. You can see Louisville has scored 22 points off those turnovers.
So let's see if Stanford can show some toughness as we start this second half. They allowed Louisville to really impose their will on them in the first half. Hill takes a 3. And a foul called. And it will go against Terrence Williams as he pushes Robin Lopez in the back. And that's his 3rd.
You get inside and you're standing next to Robin Lopez, and he is a big, big guy. Trying to move him out of the way, it's hard to do.
7-footer. They give it to his brother, and a whistle. He travels on the baseline.
Gus, neither Brooke nor Robin Lopez does a particularly good job making decisions with the basketball when they get double-teamed inside. And that time Louisville came with the double team, and Brooke Lopez tried to get through it, but he just walked with it.
As you take a look at the turnovers, 13. Always a challenge for a big man, knowing how to move the basketball out of a double team. And now Robin Lopez picks up a quick foul. That's his 3rd. As Padgett goes down hard.
Padgett obviously has decided that he's going to use his quickness against Lopez. That's obviously you have to call a foul on that play, but that's just unfortunate. They got tangled up and he went down.
Inside, Padgett lays it up and in over Lopez. 10 points now for David Padgett, and that sets up the press. Skip pass, Brooke Lopez.
That's the first time we've seen that pass the entire game, Gus.
And they throw it away. Now Williams down the lane to Paget. Rims off. Hill with the rebound. And right now what you're seeing, folks, is you're seeing this Louisville team get up in Stanford, play them tough, bump them, push them, foul them inside. And a whistle and foul coming up against Paget.
And what you're also seeing is Louisville play with great efficiency. Watch Paget catch the ball inside. Nice little move with the left hand. He's good with either hand in there. If you're Stanford, you just can't allow the other team's center to catch the ball that close to the basket on an inbounds play and lay it in.
Trent Johnson looking on. Trent Johnson, a great player at Boise State. Top 10 all-time in scoring and rebounding between 74 and 78. Free throw shooting a problem for Stanford as well. 5 of 11 from the free throw line. They're a 69% free throw shooting team on the year.
And that look says it all for Trent Johnson. As a coach, he knows his team's weaknesses better than anybody, and I don't think all year he's seen anybody exploit them the way Louisville has this afternoon.
Now Earl Clark along with Paget, Sosa, Jenkins, and Williams.
Stanford in the man-to-man. They really need to be aggressive in this man-to-man. They need to try to force some turnovers, make something happen.
Mitch Johnson is in at the point. Washington leaning, can't get it to go. Out of bounds, will head the other way.
Trent Johnson knows as well as anybody that the way you come back is not just simply to take the ball inside and throw it up on the board. You've got to move the ball. You have to make that defense move. Have a much better chance for offensive rebounds after the defenders have had to move around a little bit.
Terrence Williams from Seattle, Washington. As Sosa peels it back with 14 to shoot, turns the corner to the basket. Sosa now with 10, Paget with 10, Clark with 10. Louisville up 50 to 21. Edgar Sosa, one thing about a New York guard, he can get to the bucket.
Well, watch him get here, and Brook Lopez just doesn't get over it. It's like Lopez's feet are nailed to the floor.
Jenkins picked up his second foul. Inside, Goods has it stripped. Sosa ahead of the field. We're in Lexington, Kentucky, watching Louisville. But you get the feeling sometimes you're watching the 1996 Kentucky Wildcats. Those Cats that won it all for Coach Pitino.
We knew the 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year would be a tough act to follow. So we took the lead instead. Introducing the most powerful heavy duty on the planet, the all-new Silverado HD. This is our country.
I have two beautiful children, a wife married now 17 years. When you're inside, cooped up in the wintertime, no. As soon as it gets warm, we're out there.
He's playing tag or hide and seek or whatever it is.
Winter's over, I put down Scott's turf builder with Halts. It feeds our lawn. It gets our lawn greener, faster, and it stops the crabgrass. I'm the very first to have a green lawn after the winter. Look at it.
We're out much earlier than other neighbors.
Hey guys, time to come outside. Come on out. That's our Scott's lawn.
Mike!
Who's counting on your brakes today? Come to Midas and get brake pads or shoes for just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just a Midas touch.
December 26th, 2004. The scene delivers untold devastation to Southeast Asia. Soon after, it delivers something else.
I don't run from challenges. I attack them. I
I don't wait for chances. I find them. I don't dream about going somewhere. I get there. Who am I? I'm someone who works at McDonald's. I'm someone just like you.
Any passing requires good teamwork. With Robin Amber out, it's turning into a real rat race. Gross! New Amazing Race All-Star, CBS Sunday.
The cast of How I Met Your Mother has made their picks for the NCAA Tournament. See how they stack up against yours at cbssportsline.com.
Greg Gumbel in New York. We'll get you back momentarily after we bring you up to date on the other action going on in Winston-Salem East Region play. This game has been close throughout and remains that way. 7th seed Boston College with a 3-point lead on Texas Tech. Just over 7 minutes to play in the second half. Meanwhile, in Buffalo, the Davidson Wildcats.
If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to come to a free studio taping of the Tyra
12 and a half to play in the second half. We'll keep tabs on those games for you. Right now, let's get you back to Lexington for Stanford and Louisville. Once again, Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner.
(52-23), 16:45 to play in the second half. Exactly half of Louisville's points, 26, have come off 15 Stanford turnovers.
Louisville's really done a nice job making this game about their quickness. Stanford is a power team. The Lopez twins, 7 feet tall, 240 pounds, but not noted for their quickness.
Clark on the baseline, high archer, short. Mitch Johnson pulls it in.
Now Stanford is not a team that runs up and down very much. They're not a transition team, but if they're going to make a move in this game, they've got to play in transition.
Lopez knocked away, loose ball. And the brother, Brooke Lopez, picks it up. In the corner, pull-up jump shot, Brown. Washington grabs it inside and banks it home.
One of the first sequences we've seen in the game, Gus, where Stanford is able to use their power on the inside to generate offensive rebounding for a basket.
52-25. Now Padgett. Williams almost threw it away and does. It's Johnson, pushes it. Johnson, great handle in traffic, and he lost it. Now Sosa the other way. Dumps it down, Clark, and he's fouled. Robin Lopez picks up the foul. That's his fourth. 15:24 to play in the second half. Back to Lexington, Kentucky, right after this.
So I think the meeting went really well.
Great job, Abby. I wish some of our managers worked as hard as you do.
Well, I guess you'll just have to promote me to manager then, huh? Oh, there's a new sheriff in town. I understand that I have to work my way up, though.
Switch to the network with the fewest dropped calls. Now get an ultra-thin Samsung phone for only $19.99. Singular is now the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, you know, how much you have to invest these days to earn some respect. I mean, my broker takes forever to return my calls, and when he does, he's got like 2 seconds to talk. I mean, I realize the guy's got bigger fish to fry, but does he have to make it so obvious? Thank you.
The Intel Core 2 Duo processor. Great computing starts with Intel inside.
With Applebee's new Pick and Pair lunch combos, you take any two you want. Choose from soup, salad, sandwich, and pasta, starting at just $5.99.
The assignment.
A high-stakes poker game at Casino Royale.
The threat.
If you lose, you'll have directly financed terrorism.
The man.
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
That left hand nearly killed me. Casino Royale, now on DVD and Blu-ray disc.
On Search Center, this is Matt.
Hey, I got a quick question. My check engine light is on. Is this something that you guys take a look at?
I can.
And how long does it take?
30 seconds. We can run a diagnostic probe. We can check your airbag, your braking, and your engine and transmission systems for errors.
What do I got to do?
Nothing.
That's insane. Hey, can you come over and clean my room?
Unfortunately, that's not included with your package.
All right, buddy. Take care.
OnStar, available on over 50 models from GM.
Near the end of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's General Scholarship Fund. America's brand supports America's best, Chevy and American Revolution. So Earl Clark is at the line, shooting 2. 4 fouls called on Robin Lopez as Clark sinks the first. Rick Pitino, legendary coach, the only coach to guide 3 different teams to the Final Four. He did it with Providence in '87, Kentucky in '93, '96, and '97, and Louisville in 2005. Here's the pressure. Kenny Brown has done a nice job for Stanford coming in the game off the bench. He's a walk-on. Washington, rebounded by Clark. Smith now, just checked in. Sosa, nice look to Clark, who can't hold on. And will stay right here.
Sosa's got a motor on him, doesn't he?
He's a little tiger.
I mean, he does a great job forcing the tempo for Louisville.
Inside, Padgett slipping to the basket. And Washington throws it away.
Padgett has done a great job making some crafty little moves, just sets the screen, then steps right to the basket. Brooke Lopez comes to help with the screen. Nobody picks up Padgett.
Padgett with 12 points. Sosa, Jenkins in the backcourt, Palacio, Smith, and Character. Here's Character. Character taking Lopez down in the hole and knocks one down.
The Louisville centers, both Padgett and Character, are both smaller than Lopez, but much more mobile. And they have used that mobility to their advantage throughout this entire game.
Lopez jump hook, got it. And that's Brooke Lopez. His brother Robin has 4 fouls, 8 points for Brooke Lopez.
Brooke, the one of the 2 twins that has the more offensive ability at this point, and that little jump hook, one of his most dangerous weapons. The first time we've seen it today.
Sosa hanging. And it's ripped out of there by Fred Washington. And a whistle and foul on the floor. Kenny Brown fouled. Take a look at Derek Character.
Well, we talked about mobility in the post. He catches the ball, he's able to pivot and fake, and Brooke Lopez simply can't react quickly enough. And you can see we talked about the center comparison. There's the 2 big guys on your left from Stanford, Louisville big guys on your right. Obviously, the comparison there entirely in the favor of the Louisville Cardinals.
Jump shot off the mark for Kenny Brown. Rebounded by Hill. And a whistle on the floor. Monday on CBS, CY 2.5 Men is TV's #1 comedy. Don't miss an all-new episode Monday on CBS, America's #1 network. Lawrence Hill has been a mystery this afternoon for the Stanford Cardinal. He averages 15 points per game and has 4.
He's taken very few shots. But part of the problem is the pressure on the guards have been so intense, it's hard to find the big guys open inside.
Lopez, and he shows some range on his jump shot.
He does have some range on his jump shot. He's a very skilled offensive player. Louisville giving you a perfect example of why it's important to force him out of his rhythm.
Lawrence Hill went down hard in the Pac-10 tournament.
Bruised his tailbone. Trying to take a charge, and don't know whether that has anything to do with the fact that he hasn't been a big factor in today's game. I think it has much more to do with the pressure Louisville has applied.
Turnaround jump shot. Earl Lopez now starting to heat up a little.
When he gets the ball off quickly, he can be very good offensively. When he holds it and the double team comes, he doesn't deal very well with the double team.
He's 4 for 4 from the field in the second half. 12 points. Jenkins. Smith slicing. Jerry Smith with 10 points. 5 players in double figures now for Louisville. Hill spinning. Left hand and in. Nicely done. Stanford finding a rhythm now. Jenkins penetrating.
Stanford finding a rhythm, and Louisville's defense not quite as intense as it was earlier in the game. Hill with a lot of time to maneuver. And when you give him time, he's going to be very good.
Trying to work out that back. 16-point average on the season, 6 today. And that sends Jenkins to the line. Brandon Jenkins averages 5 points a game. He has 4 as he misses the first free throw.
Gus, this is a Stanford team that set the Pac-10 record for blocked shots in a single season this year, but I don't think they blocked a single shot today because they can't catch the Louisville guys to block their shots.
Derek Cactor on the bench now, replaced by Terrence Farley. Jenkins off the mark with both free throws. Now Washington. Lopez calling for it. Brown inside, can't get the roll. Jenkins, McGee, Jenkins, offensive foul. It will not count.
And Hill went down right on that back again, Gus. We just showed you that replay of him trying to take the charge in the Pac-10 tournament. Same thing right there. He took the charge but paid for it.
He's grimacing as he heads to the bench. 60-33, Louisville with the lead. Stanford trying to get back as quickly as possible.
The dream is still alive, someday it will come true. And this country, it belongs to folks like me and you. So let the voice of freedom sing out through this land. This is our country.
The all-new Chevy Silverado, the 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
How long is this gonna last? I'm ready to hit the Bud Light. I already took care of it.
Say, well, all right, now we are gathered here today to join in marriage, Bob and Julie. Bob, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Julie, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Going once, going twice, and now pronounce you husband and wife, you may kiss the bride.
And away we go. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
So what I owe you?
100, 100 quarter, 100 and a half, 175, 200, 200 quarter.
Welcome to a network where being here is being there. Cisco, welcome to the Human Network.
In the pursuit of healthy, natural shine, we've gone to great lengths when all along the secret is a healthy scalp. New Head & Shoulders Restoring Shine starts at the scalp to leave your hair naturally shiny and 100% flake-free.
Who's counting on your brakes today? Come to Midas and get brake pads or shoes for just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just a Midas touch!
Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, Seth Davis in New York. We'll get you back in just a moment. First of all, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Boston College enjoying the edge on Texas Tech. 3.5 minutes to play. Who has the edge coming down the stretch?
I think Boston College does because they've executed so well and they've been able to win the free throw game to this point.
BC's gotten some great contributions out of Sean Marshall. That's Dudley right there with the bank shot. But Marshall's been one of those guys all season long. Hasn't been there necessarily every game, but when he scores, they become a much better team.
Meanwhile, in Buffalo, Davidson and Maryland. This has been a pretty good battle, and right now the Terps lead at 69-63 as they come up on 7 minutes to play.
I think they're starting to wear Davidson down a little bit with their ability to go inside. Osby has come off the bench and been a tremendous force at both ends for Maryland.
We'll keep you updated on the games right now. Back to Lexington. Once again, we rejoin Gus and Dan.
60-33. Louisville with the big lead. Stanford trying to work their way back into this game. Hill hits a jump shot. It's a three. First three-pointer of the game for Stanford. Ball knocked away by Brown. Let's take a quick look at the game summary.
Point out, look, the 0 blocked shots there, I think, is a big factor in this game. Stanford coming in 183 blocked shots on the season. And again, that's a Pac-10 record. But Louisville's quickness, Stanford hadn't been able to catch him to block the shots.
Louisville, patient offensively, character, posting, and draws a foul.
We talked about his mobility, Gus. That was just strength right there. He overpowered Prowett on the inside.
Prowett picks up his third foul, and that will send Derek Carrick to the line. And I was right early on, Dan. He's a 43% free throw shooter. Different story today. He's perfect, Derek Carrick, as he hits the first.
Gus, he's been making his free throws lately. He was at 31% at one point in the season, and now he's up to 43, and you don't do that unless you make some, and 7 for 7 today certainly will help that percentage.
Second free throw is good, 8 for 8. Character, 12 points, 3 rebounds.
Louisville back into that 2-3 zone. They've done a nice job switching defenses, confusing Stanford a little bit. No matter what defense they've played, they've been very aggressive. Called for a foul right there with a hand check, but those are fouls that Rick Pitino doesn't mind.
Tuesday on CBS, a member of the unit wakes up on the wrong side of the border. Dennis Haysbert stars in a new episode Tuesday at 9, 8 Central on CBS.
Is that like waking up on the wrong side of the bed or worse?
You know what? I don't know what they're talking about over there. Waking up on the wrong side of the border. That's scary. And it depends on what border it is. That may be Stanford's point of view right now. Waking up on the wrong side of the border against Louisville as the Cardinals turn it over rather. Rick Pitino coming into this game 31-10 in the NCAA tournament, 11 NCAA appearances.
In all those NCAA tournament appearances and wins for Rick Pitino, Gus, he would be hard-pressed to find a team that played a better first half than his team did in this first half.
Hill turns the corner. Lopez has it knocked away, and it's picked up by Williams. He throws it away. Taj Finger intercepting the ball. Inside, Lopez bangs it down. Brook Lopez with 14 now. 62-38. McGee. Palacios wide open. Juan Palacios is a good three-point shooter, 34% on the season.
But that's another real positive sign for Louisville. Remember, Palacios hasn't played in a month, and that gives them another guy.
Struggled with the bad back. Washington draws a foul. And we'll go to the line. There's Juan Palacios from Medellin, Colombia. Junior.
And once again, the penetration to the basket. 3 Stanford Cardinal go around the basketball, leaves Palacios wide open.
Lopez.
Well, when he catches the ball, Gus, and there's nobody around, he handles it much more easily.
Now Anthony Goods checks back in as Hill heads to the bench. And a struggle for Goods, only 2 points. He averages 13. Second free throw goes down for Washington. 65-40. Under 10 to play. McGee. Williams throws it out of bounds. Now Rick Pitino wants a timeout. He doesn't like the way his team has approached their work. Last couple of trips down on offense. 9:34 to play, second half. Louisville still up big, 65-40.
The clock is ticking and time's running out. To save big time at the Yamaha Get Out and Ride sales event with huge savings on select Yamaha ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. See your Yamaha dealer before time runs out for good. Now get payments as low as $69 a month till 2009 plus up to $400 cash back.
Don't forget, coming up on CBS, more NCAA tournament action. What game jumps out at you as you take a look at the lineup?
Well, a lot of people are talking about that Midwest game, Old Dominion against Butler. That's a very interesting game. And, of course, we'll have Texas A&M and AC Law here against Penn. A lot of folks filling out their brackets have Old Dominion penciled in.
Lopez again, and he's fouled by character. And we'll go to the line. Brooke Lopez is starting to show us something here. After a poor first half by the Stanford team, he's coming out and playing with an intensity that you like seeing from a young player, especially a freshman.
Boy, you sure do. And keep in mind that this is a very, very young Stanford team, and they will use this as a learning experience to try to get better. But the problem for Lopez in the first half, and Robin Lopez as well, there was such intense pressure by Louisville exerted on the guards, they couldn't find the big guys inside.
Misses both free throws. Stanford as a team, 8 of 17 from the free throw line. So they haven't helped themselves. McGee off the bounce. Dumps it down, stolen away by Finger. Brown in transition. Stops, lets it go, and hits. Kenny Brown, he's a walk-on, had 22 points against Arizona. He shocked everybody on the Stanford campus. Nobody knew that he had the ability to score, and since coming into the game, this Stanford team has played with a lot more heart. Soft in the first half. They are lacing them up a little bit better here in the second half. 8 points for Kenny Brown. He's been a leader. 8:53 to play second half. 65-42.
Take the blue one.
You don't get to the top of your game by making dumb decisions. So choose the tire that sets records, wins championships, and controls the competition from start to finish. BF Goodrich Tires. Take control.
Danny, I think it's time for Trent Johnson to get this kid a scholarship.
Texas Tech and Boston College.
On Tyrese Rice, but Rice is the best free throw shooter on the floor for Boston College, 78% on the season.
And he gets to the line a lot. He shoots almost as many free throws as does Jared Dudley, a guy who plays inside in large part because of his great penetrating ability, but Rice shoots just under 6 free throws per game. That's a lot for a small guard.
He leads all scorers today with 22. Led his team in steals this year, 3-point shots made, free throws, assists, scored 17 a game. This sophomore, those of you who have not watched him play, this is a star. How good will he be?
He can really get into the lane. A very good shooter as a lefty. But the difference in the game has been Sean Marshall for Boston College, and then Jarius Jackson not having one of his better offensive games.
And there's Rice getting his hand in the way, and now Wisely turns and will try to run out the final seconds. Only 16 seconds to go. The Fox and the Hounds, and they finally...
Boston College well on its way to victory. We play the winner of Georgetown Belmont. That sends you back to your game.
.8:22 to play in the second half. Stanford at the free throw line. The Cardinals have trailed by as many as 33. Louisville up 67-42. As Fred Washington sinks his first free throw. Now a sub coming in. Earl Clark replaces Juan Palacios.
And Palacios has not been overly productive today, Gus. Only 3 points, but I know Louisville's glad to have him back in the lineup.
Washington missing the second free throw. And now a sub comes in. Landry Fields and Lawrence Hill. Washington and Finger head to the bench.
And under normal circumstances, Gus, if you're trying to get back in a game like this, you have to apply some pressure, but Stanford is not a pressing team. And again, they're a little bit slower than Louisville, so they would have a hard time pressing the Cardinals anyway.
Terrence Williams has not scored yet, averages 13 a game, but because he's changed his mentality, not scoring is okay with him.
As long as the team is winning, he really doesn't care what's going on. He's one of only 2 guys in this tournament, Gus, though, that come in leading their teams in scoring, rebounding, and assists. So he has a way that he can help his team without scoring a point.
Sosa playing under control today, spinning down the lane, deals it. Edgar Sosa from the Bronx, New York. Padgett with 16, 69-43. Watch Sosa, New York City, the home of the great guards. Shake it, bake it.
A shove, finally it comes. What about a travel? He was moving his feet too.
Craig Gumbel in New York, a minute 12 to play in Buffalo, Maryland, and Davidson. Let's join Kevin Harlan and Bob Wenzel.
Body action. Curry has some guts, doesn't he? Wow.
The big way, number 5 for the Terrapins.
Well, normally you would say this is a disastrous situation with a Beckway going out with 5 fouls, but Osby has been spectacular, has played the best game of his career in this one.
Halfway through this season in the ACC, Maryland was really staggered. There was thoughts that they wouldn't do anything in the postseason with not a single invitation.
Well, at one point they were 2-5, and that's what you're talking about. They went to Florida State and lost. They thought they weren't in, but then they won 8 out of their last 10 games. Osby back in, Kevin. He's been very, very good in this one, and that guy has been spectacular.
That is Curry, the freshman from Charlotte, All-State high school player there. Knocks it down. His dad, Del Curry, the former great at Virginia Tech, is in the audience, and there is our reset with timeouts and fouls. 6 of 6 from the line for Stephen Curry. And a Davidson timeout. With then 7 ties and 14 lead changes in a very competitive 13.
In New York, a minute 12 to play in Buffalo. We'll keep you updated. Back to Lexington, where 7 minutes 46 seconds remain in the second half. Louisville on top of Stanford. Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner.
Welcome back.
Wow. Louisville's got some talent in the cheerleading corps as well.
Needless to say, the guys on the floor and the guys that are leading the cheers are athletic.
Well, now they've got some guys with some moves on the court as well, and Edgar Sosa is certainly one of them. He made 2 3-point baskets in the first half, so he establishes he can shoot the 3, so he doesn't guard him. Then he can get to the basket. He's been out running in transition, and he's able to find his teammates. He has really done a nice job setting the tone both offensively and defensively for Louisville this afternoon.
There have been so many great point guards that come out of New York City. Bob Cousy, Tiny Nate Archibald, Dean Meminger, Mark Jackson, Rod Strickland, Kenny Anderson, Stephon Marbury. And Sosa trying to follow in the line of those great point guards. Out of the Big Apple, inside Fields. And a foul coming up against Louisville. Jenkins picks up the foul, and that's his fourth. Rick Pitino played college basketball at UMass. He and Al Skinner, who were from the same area on Long Island in New York.
Greg Gumbel in New York will bring you back to Lexington, but now coming up on a minute to play in Buffalo, let's rejoin Kevin Harlan and Bob Wenzel.
Joined the team as a walk-on a couple years ago, and the foul goes on Paulus Goslin.
Well, Abekwe has fouled out, and what a great career that man has had last year. Tested the NBA waters, decided to come back to Maryland, and has been a force.
So David Neal is at the free throw line. Only freshman on the Maryland roster a season ago. And he hits the first. We've been talking so much about Bambale Osby. Freshman here at New Mexico, went to junior college in Paris, Texas. And he was spotted by a former Maryland assistant when that team was at the Final Four of the junior colleges in the country. That's how he found his way to Maryland. And isn't Gary Williams happy about that? His Gist will check back in.
Well, Neal, pressure free throws for sure. How about that? Sitting on the bench the whole game, comes in the NCAA tournament, makes his free throws.
Here's Curry working around Strawberry. Got a screen from Minnow. And Archambault picks it up. Here is Curry again. And tip out of bounds by Sander. It'll be Maryland's ball. 48 seconds remaining in a 7-point Terrapin lead.
Man, this has been a great, great game. Davidson still has opportunity right here. Long time right here. They need to get a turnover.
Davidson has gone only 2 of their last 14 from 3 points.
So the Terps looking to put the cap on a victory over Davidson and move on to play the winner of Butler Old Dominion. We'll keep track for you. Let's get you back to Lexington once again. Gus and Dan.
6:43 to play in the second half. Rick Pitino's team came out from the opening tip and dominated this basketball game, playing with tremendous heart and intensity.
And they just never let Stanford catch a breath.
Landry Fields deep, and he hits a jump shot. Largest lead has been 33 points. Turnovers, the big story. 19 Stanford turnovers, and the Cardinals have made him play with 30 points off those 19 Stanford turnovers.
The Stanford is on number 2, Landry Fields. That's his first in the team's 8. Checking in for Stanford is number 22, Kenny Brown. Going out is Weatherby. Jenkins at the line.
So at the line now, Jenkins.
For 1 in the bonus.
Louisville out of the Big East Conference, formerly Conference USA. 23-9 overall, started the year. 6-4 with losses to Dayton, Arizona, UMass, and Kentucky, but they got healthy. And when they got healthy, they hit a roll. They've won 7 of their last 8, 11 of their last 14, shooting 47% from the field during that stretch.
And a big part of that stretch, Gus, has been winning games on the road. They won at Marquette, they won at Pitt, they won at UConn. And that's what good teams do. They're able to win games on the road.
Brown. Fields, almost a steal. In the corner, Sosa. I like this kid.
Well, how can you not like that kid?
He is a tiger. Edgar Sosa. 15 points.
Even when things don't go exactly according to the book for Louisville, Williams actually makes a bad pass. Farley recovers, and Sosa's got lots of time to line it up and drill it. And then a nice little celebration as Louisville continues to dominate.
Fellas, welcome to our camp. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Just work together with me. Knock it away from him. Use the board.
If you could go to a camp with Coach K,
Bring it in again.
for the same price as one with Coach J,
Taste it! Work it! Nasty!
why wouldn't you?
Right!
It's the same with car insurance. If you could get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys, why wouldn't you? Nobody can match our combination of service and low rates. Get a quote today.
Give me the ball. Ooh!
5:40 to play in the second half. Louisville with the huge lead. The winner of this game will take on the winner of our next game between Texas A&M, a 3, and the Quakers from Penn out of the Ivy League. AC Law, Mr. Clutch for Texas A&M, Billy Gillespie's squad, another 20-win season, and they are a very dangerous ball club.
They're a very dangerous ball club, but keep in mind, Gus, they're going against a team that's Penn. They're in their 3rd consecutive NCAA tournament.
So there is experience in the building. Brown, in and out, tapped up and in by Lopez.
And that's what Stanford was hoping to be able to accomplish in this game. Get the ball down the court, get open shots, and then have the Lopez brothers go after the offensive rebounds if you missed, but it just hasn't happened with enough consistency to make it a game.
Backdoor, up and in, nicely done. And that's Chris Current. Rick Pitino emptying his bench now. Lopez jump hook. Inside Fields. Lays it up.
Stanford staff really feels as if Landry Fields has a great future. Guy needs to get a little bit stronger, but he comes in with a reputation as a shooter. As he gets stronger, he'll improve his quickness.
He had a career-high 15 against USC in the Pac-10 tournament. 10 of those points coming in the first half.
We talked about Louisville and Terrence Williams and how Williams leads the team in assists, and you can see right there what's one of the reasons, the ability to find open guys, but he found that guy because Curran did a great job moving without the basketball.
Now Robin Lopez fouls out with 3 points and 4 rebounds. Talk about Terrence Williams. He has averaged 5 assists in his last 7 games, has 4 today.
Dustin, you made the point earlier, and I think it's worth repeating, that Terrence Williams is a guy who early in the season took a large number of three-point shots, was only shooting 26% from out there, sat down with Rick Pitino, and Rick Pitino told him, look, you don't need to impress anybody with your ability to shoot the three. Go and do the things that you do best. Take the ball and attack the basket and share the ball, and since he has done that, Louisville, it's one of the reasons they've really taken off.
4:16 to play in the second half. This game belonging to Rick Pitino's Louisville Cardinals from the very beginning as Coach Pitino comes back to Lexington, where he served as the head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats for 8 years, 3 Final Fours, and a national title in '96. Louisville did not advance to the NCAAs last year. They were NIT bound after advancing to the Final Four in 2005. And right now, they have their swagger back.
Where they have their swagger back, and they looked as good as any team in the country in that first half. Sosa going out of the game. He has really been a huge factor in setting the tone right from the beginning.
Sosa leaves with 16 points. He's a freshman from New York. Rice High School. And boy, have they produced some great players out of Rice. Take a look at what Edgar Sosa, the Tiger, has been able to do.
Well, offensively, he's made a couple of three-point baskets. He's been able to drive into the lane and score. He's been out in transition, and he's been able to find his teammates. So just an all-around great effort. Maybe the most important thing, though, was the tone that he set defensively. He was really the key to that Louisville pressure early in the game.
On the other end, Stanford, the 2 twin 7-footers, struggling early as Robin Lopez sits. Brooke Lopez came on in the second half, but they are freshmen. And with big men, it always takes a while.
It takes a while, and plus guys who are 7 feet tall, guys can't go out and get the ball and create their own shots. The guards have to get them the ball, and Louisville's pressure just took that away. Great pressure on the perimeter on the ball by Louisville. Stanford's guards couldn't get their heads up to see whether they were open or not inside.
Inside, Baron Johnson lost it. Picked up by Hill. So Louisville, if they hold on, and it looks like they will take on the winner of Texas A&M and Penn. Our next game. 77-52. Edgar Sosa hugging his coach. All smiles today for the Cardinals.
Hello?
Hi, Melissa. It's Josh from last night.
Oh, yeah, hey.
Hey. Okay, listen. I know there's that 2-day rule about calling or whatever, and this might sound totally dumb, but did you feel like there was a real connection between us? I mean, you know, like a brother-sister connection? Nothing creepy. I mean, like, you know, I would never, like, make out with my sister.
Singular is now the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
You don't get to the top of your game by making dumb decisions. So choose the tire that sets records, wins championships, and controls the competition from start to finish. BF Goodrich Tires. Take control.
Did you have a color in mind?
Red.
It's got a real nice feel and great for cutting through metal.
Okay. Lately, a lot of NCAA basketball fans are shopping at Lowe's.
I need a blender. How is that one?
Because right now, when you make a purchase at Lowe's, you automatically get a chance to instantly win a trip to the 2008 NCAA Men's Final Four and be on the floor as the winners cut down the net. Or you could win one of millions of Lowe's prize cards. Get in the game today at Lowe's. Let's build something together.
The Gatorade Sports Science Institute. We test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
We knew the 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year would be a tough act to follow. So we took the lead instead, introducing the most powerful heavy-duty on the planet, the all-new Silverado HD.
This is our country.
Welcome back. Don't forget, coming up, Belmont at Georgetown, or Belmont and Georgetown. Old Dominion and Butler. And if you haven't seen the Hoyas, Danny, that's a team, especially with the big fella in the middle, Hibbert, that has a chance to maybe win everything.
They really do, and that's a very popular opinion right at the moment, Gus. But when you're talking about Hibbert and Jeff Green on the inside, a question about Georgetown early in the season was their guard play, but those guards have played very well. They guard you defensively. They can rebound. They are going to be a very, very difficult team to play in this tournament. Belmont has a pretty steep hill to climb.
Now Smith.
Giannini in the game as they continue to. Rick Pitino continues to clear his bench.
So Rick Pitino, welcome back to Lexington. 8 great years, Final Fours, national title. And his name hangs from the rafters along with the 2 other great coaches, Joe B. Hall and Adolph Rupp. Lopez. Finger with the rebound. Under 3 minutes to play. Side again. With Lopez, no. Ball tapped around. Fields, and he's fouled. So NCAA record books have Rick Pitino's name in them. He is the only head coach to take 3 different teams to the Final Four. Remember, he did it with Billy the Kid. Billy Donovan in Providence. Also at Kentucky, 93, 96, and 97. And then a couple of years ago with Louisville, Francisco Garcia. Taekwon Dean as stars then.
This is a Louisville team, Gus, that throughout the year has not shot the ball well as that particular Louisville team, but as you correctly documented, over the last 7 or 8 games, Louisville's shooting it very well, and when they play defense the way they did today, they're going to get good shots. And that's how you shoot a high percentage. You take good shots.
Stanford will look at the box score of this game and the 2 statistics that will jump right off the page: turnovers as well as free throw shooting. The Cardinal, 13 of 27 from the free throw line, so they left all sorts of loose change on the table this afternoon. Giannini wraps it around, and an offensive foul. Also points off turnover. Louisville 30 points off 20 Stanford turnovers.
Very young Stanford team, though, Gus, and every one of the key actors will be back, including Fred Washington, who's listed as a senior, but he missed most of the season last year with a leg injury, and he has just recently had a medical hardship approved for last year, so he's able to come back. So even though a very poor performance by Stanford today, I think the future looks bright for Trent Johnson and his guys.
Got to find a guard. A hard-nosed point guard, and this team could really take off.
Well, Louisville showed us today the importance of some hard noses out there. You really need some tough guys, particularly when you're playing in the NCAA tournament.
77-56. Fields. He's got a motor inside. Andrew Fields, 8 points now, all coming in the second half. He continues to play hard, 1:24 to go. And today's Chevrolet players of the game are, we're going to pick Kenny Brown from Stanford, 8 points, 3 assists, and the reason we picked him is because he came in and played with heart. Edgar Sosa, 16 points. What a great smile in his first NCAA basketball game. On the bench a couple of moments ago. I'm sure everybody at Rice and in New York City are paying attention to what he's doing right now.
As the kids say, it's all good right at the moment for Louisville.
That's right. That is what they say, Dan. 78-58. Louisville will move on and take on the winner of Texas A&M Penn, our next game here in Lexington, South Region. Minute remaining. Home game for the Louisville Cardinals. Their campus is 78 miles away from this facility.
And you're right, Gus, they've got a lot of folks in the building, and they put on a show for them today.
And timeout called.
Trent Johnson just wants to get a sub in the game.
Into the game for Stanford. Number 24, Chris Louisville.
A jump shot off the mark, and the rebound goes to Louisville. Chris Curran, Giannini the other way. Shot clock turned off. They'll back it up and let it wind down. 23,000 in attendance. 20,000 rooting for Louisville.
An extremely impressive performance. They're getting a standing ovation, and they deserve it.
78-58 the final. The Cardinals move to the second round. Rick Pitino returns to Lexington. And his team plays an excellent ball game, winning it 78-58. So Louisville advances. They await the winner of Texas A&M a 3 and Penn a 14. The Big 12 versus the Ivy League. Edgar Sosa, huge game for the freshman, 16 points. For Dan Bonner, this is Gus Johnson. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel, standing by.
All right, Gus, thanks very much. Now, we're going to get everyone back to Sacramento and rejoin JB for Oral Roberts, Washington State. That's a 7-4 lead for the Golden Eagles. Here's what's still to come on CBS this afternoon. Winston-Salem, Belmont, and Georgetown will tip at 2:48 Eastern Time. If you're ticketed for that game, we'll get you there for that tip. If you are ticketed for Old Dominion against Butler, that game to be played in Buffalo, that game will tip at 2:58. We'll get you there. And then in Lexington, Penn and Texas A&M will tip approximately 1/2 hour from now. We'll get you back.